African agricultural policy is not constrained by a lack of ideas. Fertilizer subsidies, seed programs, and irrigation schemes are designed with great care, yet outcomes remain weak. The real question is what survives the journey from policy to farm. Between the ministry and the farm lies a multi-stage chain: procurement, distribution, targeting, local administration, and farmer uptake. At each stage, distortion accumulates. The result is a cumulative attrition of policy intent across the institutional landscape. Formal agricultural policy operates within a field of informal constraints. Institutions are not only written rules, but also norms, obligations, and social enforcement structures. This produces a persistent mismatch between policy intent and implementation reality. Weak territorial reach of the state limits uniform enforcement. Weak state legitimacy means compliance is mediated by local authority. This is the condition of quasi-states. Sovereignty exists formally, but is not fully operational in practice. In agriculture, input distribution is filtered through local power structures. Extension systems become embedded in patronage networks. Monitoring is weakened by negotiated compliance. Policy fails because it is continuously reinterpreted at each level of execution. A second constraint is fiscal structure. Where states are aid-dependent, domestic fiscal pressure to invest in agriculture weakens. Reliance on external finance reduces accountability between citizens and the state because tax-based bargaining is weakened. Fragmented aid flows increase administrative burden and reduce institutional coherence. Aid often supports politically mediated allocation rather than systematic, productive investment. Agriculture becomes project-based rather than system-based. When external finance substitutes domestic political commitment, agriculture becomes less institutionally anchored. Long-term administrative capacity remains underdeveloped, and the sector drifts from one donor cycle to the next. African agriculture also suffers from coordination failure. Transformation depends on coordinated investments across input markets, output markets, and institutions. When coordination is weak, supply systems fragment and price incentives become unstable. Policy failure often reflects implementation constraints rather than design flaws. Liberalization without strong institutional replacement leads to governance gaps in value chains, where rules exist on paper but no one enforces them. Two forces explain the implementation gap. First, institutional friction. Formal policy collides with informal authority. Second, fiscal substitution. Aid dependence reduces domestic pressure to build durable agricultural institutions. Together, these forces produce a system where agricultural policy continuously dissolves between the ministry and the farm gate. The path to food security starts with strengthening the institutions that stand between good intentions and real results.